Bloomington leaders say they want to make the city better for bikers and pedestrians. A recent collision on the Beeline Trail raises questions about how to keep both groups safe on mixed-use paths. Our Ethan Sandwise takes a look at the intersection of infrastructure and enforcement.
Bloomington has received a gold ranking from the League of American Bicyclists 9 years in a row, but some feel like the city has further to go.
Security camera footage shows Amanda Whitaker walking with her friends on the Beeline Trail August 18. A cyclist who is speeding down the Grimes overpass runs straight into her.
And we're trying to get back over. Yeah. So I had a partially collapsed lung on the left side, a left rib fracture, a concussion, and then just multiple contusions.
What we got? An officer arrived 20 minutes later to question witnesses.
He said basically any sort of criminal charges would have to be intentional.
The cyclist who told police he was homeless violated state law by riding without brakes, a Class C misdemeanor on par with a speeding ticket. Still, the officer sent the cyclist on his way without a citation.
And if people saw more enforcement and ramifications of not following the rules of the road, like you get your bike taken away or you'll get a citation or something like that, then maybe, that can help to decrease events like this in the future.
How common are these events, and just how stringently does the BPD enforce bike laws? BPD spokesman Ryan Pedigo declined an interview to talk about the bicycle crash. He also declined to talk about enforcing bicycle laws in general. Pedigo did confirm that no citation was issued in Whitaker's case and says the department rarely issues citations to cyclists. To find out how often that actually happens, the Records Division says it would have to go through every citation issued by the department individually to check which involved bikes, a process that would be, quote, very time-consuming. Not every incident gets reported, but city officials say pedestrian-cyclist collisions are uncommon.
It is, as far as I'm aware, the first report I've heard of that type of collision.
In contrast, there were almost 3,400 car collisions in Bloomington between September 2022 and 2023, including 62 with pedestrians and 43 with bikes. Some, like Rosenbarger, would rather prioritize preventive over punitive solutions.
We have to be cautious of how much we rely on enforcement in terms of different outcomes for different members of our community.
Whitaker agrees that infrastructure changes might reduce, if not prevent, collisions like hers.
I feel like the multi-use trails should have better signage, should have lines to delineate between biking and pedestrians.
The Parks Department is talking about adding a line, a center line on the Beeline, and that wouldn't prevent a person from driving over the center line or bicycling over or walking over it, but it is a design cue that people tend to follow.
It's just unfortunate that it happened. That said, there is a silver lining that it is bringing up questions that probably should have been brought up earlier on how we best prioritized both pedestrian and cyclist safety.
Duncan says the best solution to reduce traffic on the Beeline is by creating separated paths for bikers.
If we built more protected infrastructure for those folks to get from north to south, I have a good feeling that a lot of the crowded areas, a lot of those congested areas on the Beeline, it would even out and you would see less traffic there and more traffic in other areas of the city.
I would say as a transportation planner, our recommendation is to separate out modes. A challenge with the Beeline is there isn't an alternative.
Around 1.8% of Bloomingtonians say they bike for their daily commute. That's about 1,500 people, according to census estimates. The Department of Public Works maintains about 237 miles of roadway. The City Parks Department, by comparison, maintains 15 miles of recreational and multi-use paths. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ethan Sandwise.